I had an interesting childhood, actually. So my father has been here since 1974, is when he moved to Dubai. I had a brother who passed away in Sharjah in an accident when I was playing with him. My genuine dream, I guess deep down, was to travel the world. And because Dubai is such a cosmopolitan city, in every corner in Dubai, I have a memory. My goals are always long-term. I always look 10 to 20 years in advance. Move forward with our lives in a positive manner. I had an interesting childhood, actually. So my father has been here since 1974, is when he moved to Dubai. And a lot of what you see in Dubai today started off in the 70s, actually. That, it takes decades to build a city. And then a lot of people say Dubai was nothing before, but actually when my father moved in 1974, he moved here because he saw opportunity. And he saw opportunity because the city was ambitious even back then when, as some people say, there was nothing. To me, there was everything. So I don't like it when some people, especially newcomers into Dubai, when they say there was nothing in Dubai. No, there was a whole life for us in Dubai. So my father came in 1974. He came because he saw opportunity. We come from a middle-class family. So he came in as an employee, worked really hard throughout the years to provide for me and my siblings as well. And then I was born, and I'll mention when I was born. I'm not shy with my age. I was born in 1984. And my mom was pregnant with me when she was here, but then she went to Syria, delivered me, and came back 7 days later. So I've been here since I was 7 days old. So those were the beginnings for us. We were living in Sharjah in my early childhood days, up until I would say 11 years old or 10 and a half years old. I had a brother who passed away in Sharjah in an accident when I was playing with him. And so that triggered us to move to Dubai and have the family move to Dubai. I think we moved to Dubai in 1995. Was the beginning, let's say, of our journey in Dubai, moving out of Sharjah at the time. So as a child, I remember wanting to be a pilot. And I guess, you look at, when you're a child, a lot of kids want to be pilots. You look at airplanes and you want to travel the world, and that was sort of the trigger in me of saying or articulating it in a way to say that my dream was to be a pilot. But my genuine dream, I guess deep down, was to travel the world. And because Dubai is such a cosmopolitan city, in school, in nurseries, in my elementary school, secondary school, high school, I met kids from all over the world. And people coming in from different cultures and different backgrounds. And you realize from when you're at a young age that the world is a much bigger space and a much bigger place than the geography you're sitting in. And I guess because of that experience, engaging with other residents in Dubai and school kids coming from different backgrounds, it triggered in me that I want to explore their countries, explore their cities, and travel around the world. And I saw that in being a pilot, to be able to achieve that dream. So those were my early childhood dreams, I would say, which later on became wanting to be into technology. And I actually enrolled in university in technology as in computer science, but my family was not very supportive of that. And I received an ultimatum from my father that you either study accounting and finance, which is what he studied, or I'm not paying for college. And I chose then, to put the white flag up and say, yes, Dad, and studied accounting and finance. Looking back, those were really great decisions that I did, or that my family also helped me make, because I grew up with a passion for tech, and also with the financial understanding of accounting and finance, which enables me today to really enhance our service delivery and elevate property values for our landlords, while at the same time, because of my passion in tech, I was able to bring in the tech element and change the real estate industry with technology. Wow, goosebumps. So we used to live in Riga Street at the time, next to Muraqabat, where Dubai Land Department and RERA is today. We used to live in that area. And as a child, we would go and play in Sindibad Arcade, which was in Al Ghurair Center. I spent a lot of my childhood in Al Ghurair Center, actually, both walking around, shopping, and also playing at the arcades. It was virtually the only shopping mall in Dubai at the time, and later on, city center came. So we used to spend a lot of time in Al Ghurair Center. We used to go a lot to Creek Park, and as we grew, and whenever I sit with friends, we're like, why don't we go to the park like the old days? We used to spend a lot of time at the Creek Park. We used to spend a lot of time going from Deira to Bar Dubai on the Abra. In some cases, to actually cross to the other side, but in other cases, just for fun. We used to spend a lot of time in the old market, in Deira Souk and Naif Souk, walking around, shopping, enjoying the different foods and different cultures that are also present there. We used to spend a lot of time in Nasser Leisureland. I don't know if you know Al Nasser Leisureland in Bar Dubai. We used to go ice skating there. They also used to have bumping cars and a lot of outdoor activities. I took my son there when he turned 6, actually, to Al Nasser Leisureland, and we had a blast. And I was able to get back a lot of those memories from back in the days. We also used to go camping, and I used to be in the Boy Scouts with the school. I used to be in Al Mawakib school in Garhoud, and they had a Boy Scouts that was very successful, actually. And I started in Boy Scouts when I was in grade 5 and continued all the way to grade 12. So with Boy Scouts, we used to do a lot of camping. We used to do a lot of outdoor activities with the Scouts, including, for example, when we would go camping, we would camp next to where Burj Al Arab is now and where Jumeirah Beach Hotel is now. And that was desert. It was empty. It was just a desert area by the beach. There were no buildings around. There was a tiny hotel, Chicago Beach Hotel, which later on became the Jumeirah Beach Hotel. But we used to camp in these areas. So that was a lot of where I spent my time as a child. We used to spend a lot more time outdoors. I'll give you an example. In Riga Street, there was the Dubai Shopping Festival, which is now kind of concentrated in Global Village. But Global Village was, the entire of Global Village used to be in Riga Street and Muraqabat Street. So we would just walk down at the house and walk around for hours and hours, and it was all around the roads and streets and alleyways with all the shops that you see now in Global Village, the different cultural experiences, food experiences, shopping experiences, and a lot of entertainment and games. They were right under our house. So there was, for several months in the year, we would walk around, play. Remember, we used to be in our baggy clothes at the time because it was the trend. We would buy pets. I used to have a rabbit and a snake back when I was a child. It used to be a thing, among teenagers back then. And we used to walk around the streets with our pets at the time. So yeah, it was a lot of memories. I tell this to my kids. In every corner in Dubai, I have a memory. Literally in every corner, be it in the new Dubai and new areas where we used to go camping, and what's now Dubai Hills and Springs and Meadows, etc. That used to be a camping site for us. Along the beach, Dubai Marina, JBR, that used to be a camping site for us. Across every corner, from Mulla Plaza to Riga Street to Muraqabat to Naif Market to Deira to Bar Dubai to the Abras, at every one of these corners, I have a memory, and we have a memory as a family. Yes, it is true. I did have a yacht, and I used to actually berth the yacht next to the creek park. So we would go and spend a lot of time on the yacht in front of the creek park and through the canal into Business Bay and into the open oceans. I did sell my yacht, so I now rent yachts. But whenever we were on a yacht, I had it berthed in the Deira area, in the creek area, because I love that part of the city. And we used to take the yacht from Dubai Creek, from the creek park, and go into the Naif market and the old creek road all the way to the other side of the ocean where Shindiga Tunnel is. And we would sometimes stop at Mina Al Sif, I think it's called, the Sif project. And we would anchor there and go down, get some food, get back on, and continue our journey. So yes, if that's a rumor that I used to go on my boat to old Dubai, that rumor is true. Correct. I had a lot of tough moments in my life, and a lot of pivotal moments in my life. Some of them emotionally difficult, psychologically difficult, losing a brother, and other pivotal moments that I went through my life. So when I used to stand across Dubai Creek, I used to remember that child in me being in Dubai Creek Park and looking out at the water. And I used to have a lot of those walks in Creek Park, sometimes alone, a lot of times with family, a lot more times with even friends. And I would always look at the water and look at the horizon and try to understand what's in it for me in the future. Am I going to succeed? Am I going to be able to really accomplish my dreams? And so when I used to sit across from the Creek Harbor, I would actually look at that boy face looking back at me, and I'd look at that child and say, you've done well. You went through a good experience in life. You were able to help others. You were able to accomplish some of your dreams. But I am on the journey to continue accomplishing all of them. So yeah, it always it hits me every once in a while. I still go there. I was at Creek Park a few weeks ago. I still go to Naif Market, and I love walking around the market. I still make it a point to take my kids to these old places and just explain to them how we used to live and how we enjoyed life back then. I really enjoyed Dubai back then. When people say it was nothing, again I say it was everything for us. We were a lot more, it was a close-knit community. Everybody knew everybody. There was still that ambition in the city, was still there even back then. And we had a lot of different things to do all the time. So I would never agree with someone saying there was nothing in Dubai. There was really everything in Dubai, even in the old days. The first turning point of my life is losing my brother at a young age. It taught me that you can lose something so dear to you, and you can lose someone who's so dear to you in a second. So that was the first turning point in my life. The second turning point in my life was graduating from high school. I do recall those moments where I was going through a roller coaster in my mind, not knowing whether I wanted to go abroad to study or study in the UAE. In terms of college, as I mentioned in a previous question, I wanted to study computer science, but I was being pushed to study accounting and finance. And that was a second pivotal point where I felt I need to make a decision. And at that point, I did decide to continue my higher education in the UAE. I went to the American University of Sharjah, and I went there because I really believed in the quality of education of the universities that were already established or getting established in the UAE back then. although I did get accepted at McGill University, Concordia, a lot of universities in Canada, in the US, but I decided to actually stay here and continue my education here. So that was the second turning point. And because I continued to study here, it meant that I continued to nurture those relationships that I built as a child. And I still have my closest friends today who are with me since grade 5 and grade 6 in school. Until now, around in my life, where we've really seen each other grow. We all have families, we all have kids, and we all support each other. So that was the second pivotal moment in my life. The third one, I would say, is when I finished my third year of university, I decided to transfer to the US and continue my degree there and graduate from there, just to get a different perspective. During that phase, I also had several, I wouldn't say pivotal points, but other elements that made this phase of my life, staying in Dubai and deciding to study in the UAE, a pivotal point. I was able to work during my studies, which enabled me to have a lot of exposure into how the city operates, how companies operate from a very young age. So I worked with Majid Al Futtaim briefly, filling up customer surveys at Deira City Center, Ajman City Center, later on Mall of the Emirates, when it was, actually no, not Mall of the Emirates, I was already older back then. But Deira City Center, Ajman City Center, and a couple of other malls they had. I was also a mystery shopper. So I would go to the different shops that were the brands that were owned by Majid Al Futtaim to report on quality of service and quality of operation, waiting lines, etc. So that exposed me from a young age on the importance of customer feedback, on the importance of doing mystery shopping, to see your service delivery from the eyes of a customer. I also was able to do some projects and work for Air Arabia. Air Arabia is a low-cost budget airline. One of their values back then, and I hope they still have it to today, was to really be very engaged with the community. And because they were engaged with the community, they were giving opportunities to young kids who wanted to do some work, and it was win-win for them, because one, they were able to get some projects done at a low cost, and this enabled them to be true to their value, being a low-cost airline, and also a win-win for the community, where people like myself had opportunities to be exposed and learn from those experiences. And I remember we did one of the first promotional videos for Air Arabia, where we went on a flight that only had us, a few students. I was responsible for that project, where we filmed like a promotional video for Air Arabia, working with other students in media and mass communication at the time. And we just flew to Kuwait and flew back the same day. I also was able to work with FedEx, Federal Express. I was responsible for a team of about 20 people. At the time, FedEx was trying to digitize the process of sending shipments, and they had CDs that we had to go around their top customers, install it, and teach them on how to use that software. Now that taught me the importance of technology and how technology can help improve the user experience from FedEx's point of view and clients' point of view. And I also worked with Deloitte as an intern for about 3 months. And I did all of that in my 3 years of university when I was with AUS. And the reason I mention these stories is Dubai, from even back then, this is late 1990s, early 2000, even back then, they cared about the youth. They cared about youngsters and young people in the industry, in the city. And Dubai and the UAE understood that from a very young age. And the businesses in Dubai understood that from a very young age. And that is why we saw the likes of Majid Al Futtaim, Air Arabia, all UAE local businesses go out of their way into bringing students to come in and help with different projects and as a way to really support and train the younger generations coming on board. So that was a pivotal, I would say, time of my life because I gained a lot of learnings that later on helped me with my business. The third pivotal point was coming back from the US. Although I had the opportunity to live in the US and to get the green card in the US, which a lot of people would seek actually, I did not think twice. I got an authorization to work after I finished my studies in the US, but I did not think twice of living there. And I was so eager to come back, and my family wanted me to come back as well. And I did come back, and at the time, real estate was booming, as we were discussing a while ago. All of my friends were in real estate already. Those who were a bit older than me were working in real estate. So it was very natural for me to get into real estate, and I started Kaizen in 2006.